we've moved to the interior of the restaurant now, and we really have a limited time because we're pushing up against the opening time for the restaurant. So we're going to go really fast. I might even be talking a little bit faster, but I'm going to try to go ahead and set up the scene. I want to make it a little bit more moody. I've got some giant lights, and I'm going to feather them a little bit, and I'm going to kind of craft this scene. So first thing I'm going to do is make a few adjustments with my lighting. So keep in mind we've shifted gears completely, and now we're using the 70D along with that 50mm macro lens. Again, this is really basic stuff. This lens is less than $300. It's a good little entry macro. Again, good little entry camera body. I've got the 1.6 crop factor, so really and truly this is acting more like an 80 than a 50. So we're going to play around with this and see what we get. This is just a stand-in. This is in no way, shape, or form the real thing. I'm just going to start to craft my light and see what I get, because I know right now it's overlit. It's not creating that mood I want. I've got this big softbox. I know I'm going to have to drop a little bit of a white card in here to give a little kicker light back in. But I want to start to make this a little bit moodier. Again, I'm using foreground elements and background elements to let the focus kind of go soft. I'm going to make some adjustments here on the camera. It's getting better. I'm also going to make some adjustments on the light because it is way too bright in the background. So I'm going to change the direction of my light. I'm going to bring this a little bit lower, and I'm getting up on top of it because I do not want to let this light sink. I want to hold this thing pretty firm. So I'm putting downward pressure on the back of the C-arm because as I lower it, I don't want it to tip in and go. So I'm just giving it a little bit of a nudge. That's definitely feeling better. It feels really dark. I don't think I'm there yet by any stretch of the imagination. I really haven't massaged this where I want it to be yet. So we're going to go ahead and start to kind of prop it out now. Because really and truly, I'm just using what's available on the table. I haven't finessed it at all. We have way too much color. So let's get this out of here. There's an empty glass. I'm going to move everything down a little bit. So right now what I'm doing is I'm just going to play with the napkin a little bit. I want to kind of change the direction of the way this is feeling. It was definitely feeling too geometric before. And I want to change that quite a bit. I've pushed everything down, and I'm going to come in a little bit tighter on this beast. That's a little bit better. I think I've got a little bit more interest going in there now. Still not quite there, but it's starting to head in the direction I like. Without question. So again, it's a little bit of experimentation, just kind of playing. I know I want a little bit of that color in the foreground. I'm just kind of moving this napkin around until I think I find something that's going to be of interest. Got this water glass, nice and close in the foreground and out of focus. David, whenever you're ready, I'll take the real food. Too much. Okay, I'm going to pause right here because I know that when the plate comes out, it's going to be completely different because we actually have a slate colored plate. It's very dark. It's the antithesis of this. So I'm not going to continue to craft it too much. I want to wait and see what the chef brings out. He's going to come out now and then we'll really finalize it then. So the more I'm watching him do this, I know that I'm going to want to come in even tighter. The food is very pretty, it's compact, it's tight, and it's delicately put together. Again, the devil is in the details. Same with this dish. This is a really well put together dish, so I'm going to want to come in tight, which means I'm going to lose some of my environment, so I want to be really conscious of that. I still want to maintain the feel of this restaurant without losing it completely. So I got to find that balance. Thank you. Yep. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a serious adjustment based on the fact that this is looking different than what I thought it would be. We didn't have a stand-in of this dish to come out. We just had something else that we were throwing out there. So I'm going to go off tripod, I'm going to go handheld, and I'm just going to find an area that I think is kind of an interesting angle for me. And then I'm really going to fine-tune and build the set according to that discovery. Ooh, that's kind of nice. I think I'm already liking that direction. So I'm going to make it easier on myself since the camera would be way in there. And I'm going to move things around a little bit. All right, there's no question in my mind, I've got to be really tight on this stuff. As I pull back, the food kind of loses something, but this is getting interesting. Without question, I like the light, the way it's kind of coming off of the top of it, giving it some sheen and giving it some reflection. Let's look at the difference. So this is back when I had my stand-in, and then I thought, okay, I want to see some of the environment of this place. So I just had this half onion that was upside down, and I put it in there. And in reality, it looks nothing like what the real dish does. First of all, the new plate is a completely different color, which honestly is good because that plate kind of helps give me a sense of environment. Where the white plate is kind of typical, you see them everywhere. I really like this thing, it's a little bit different. So I've kind of moved in on it, and I know that I want to come at this tighter angle. I like some of this perspective of what's going on, so that's what I'm going to build on right now. Now I got to find a way to get my tripod in there. Woohoo! That's actually kind of nice. So let's do that. All right, so I'm going to try to find a spot where my tripod can be good and secure. So I'm getting it in here nice and tight. Again, you don't know what you're going to wind up with in a restaurant space. So you've got to be able to adapt and kind of move fairly quickly with it. Yeah, way cooler. So it's to me, it's kind of interesting. You don't exactly know where you're going to wind up. You have a vision in your head, and that's what the direction that you go down or the path that you take. But you've got to let the food speak to you. You've got to let it tell you how it needs to be photographed. And you do that by starting your composition and taking a look at the food and how the eye is flowing. If the eye gets hung up, if it's going into dead areas, it just doesn't have volume, it doesn't have depth, it doesn't move, then you know you've got to make a bunch of changes, which is what I just did with this testing phase. So very quickly, I'm going to bring in this additional bounce card just to work with this light a little bit. Still liked it tighter, without a doubt. I like coming in tighter on the shot, and I'm going to continue to do so. I keep pulling back and keep pulling back, wanting to show the environment. And it's a really intricate plate of food. In fact, it's so intricate, I have to get in there tighter. So that's what I'm going to do. Get everything locked down, nice and tight. Refocus. Looking better. Just a little sense of environment, a little sense of place. Not a ton. But you know you're in a location, you know you're in a restaurant, and you know you want to see more. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just looking at some of the lines. I like some of this highlight coming through. There's darks, there's a little bit of highlight. It's kind of pushing my eye back down. I'm focused right here on this guy. It's kind of an interesting shot. Let's see if we can't get this a little better. And again, I've changed my crop on this. So instead of shooting vertical, I'm shooting my 14 by 22 horizontal shot, just trying to mix it up a little bit. I need to bring my focus forward, and quite honestly, I want to increase my depth of field on this guy. I think that this could lend itself to being a little bit sharper. So I'm going to do that right now. Background is really simple. Don't have to do a lot. I am going to come up a little bit. In fact, let's see if we can do that with the crop. Yes, we can. I'm going to tilt my camera up just a hair to get rid of some of the foreground, get a little bit more of the onion in the background because I like it. I think it's nice. Pop another. Too much. But I also have a crop on that, so let's take a quick look at my crop. All right, like that. A couple more adjustments. I'm going to kind of break this up a little bit here. It's a little bit clumped, and that radish, I think I want to pull some of that down on there as well because it's all in the back. So let's see if I can just fine-tune the food a little bit, and we should have our hero shot. I'm just kind of delicately doing this, bringing these guys in here. The truth of the matter is, I got a whole pile of them in back that I'm not seeing and I want to. So I'm going to steal some because we don't see them. So I'm going to kind of go like this. I'm going to be kind of true to what the chef wants in knowing that these things kind of live in a pile. I'm just going to see if I can bring these forward just a little bit over this leaf. Because I want to create a little bit more visual interest there. So again, I'm leading the eye, And I'm just kind of pulling out these details just a little bit. Down to the 2-minute warning. This is definitely much better without question. And I like what's going on up here in this radish better too. Just a little bit of break, a little bit of curve that's kind of going. I don't think I helped this leaf at all. In fact, I think it's kind of diminished from what it was, which is not what I intended to do. So let's see if we can't fluff it up a little bit, make it a little bit better, and then we'll be done. That's better. I'm going to break that up a little bit more, and I think I got it. Okay, last thing I'm going to do, a little bit of fill. Moving fast. Get under that guy. So I'm trying to catch my main light coming in just to fill under that leaf a little bit, which you can see that little silver card made a huge difference. If you look like right here, that's a very dark spot. It's really kind of dead. Back there, super dark, no light. Just bringing this guy in, lit under that leaf, you can really see the detail of the vein, and you can also see the detail in the onion now back there, which is a good thing. We want to see that detail. Check my focus, do a couple more, and we are in good shape. Nice. All right, I like it. That's it. That shot's done. Now we can wrap up and get out of here, which we need to do, because I know we're bumping up against the time when they're gonna start having customers walk in. Their staff is starting to walk in. So we're gonna break, we're gonna get out of here. I'm sure we're gonna come back and do more for them, because these are great people to work with.